Greetings and welcome back to my lovely little cybersecurity show that we've been having such a good time with. Hopefully you have. I know that I sure have. I've been having a lot of fun. I'm actually kind of proud of what we've accomplished so far, honestly. We've done a lot of really cool stuff, and I got a lot of cool stuff on the horizons, things I'm thinking about doing, hopefully that I can bring to fruition for you good folks. And remember, if you've liked what you've seen, if you like what you're watching on this channel, please do smash that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to like and share with your friends. And of course, comment below. Always enjoy engaging in dialogue with you good folks out there. Having a grand old time. Today we're back in our Linux privilege escalation script. We're going to have a good time there. We are going to start tackling today the idea of pulling down information from gtfobins. Now, there's a couple ways which you could do this. I'm going to try to do this probably what I consider to be at least the easiest way for me at this point. I know there's other ways I could probably do this, but you know, hey, I gotta go with what I know at this point in time, and then I can go back and refactor later once I learn different and new technology. I mean, this was different and new as well, but I think this would probably serve me well later down the road with the technique that I want to learn for today, because this is how I know it when I would come to bash, or at least the way I would do it in a Linux system if I wanted to make that happen. So without further ado, let's jump back into our Kali system here, that computer screen. So I've already got the script running. I'm kind of going with a different format here as far as how we can see these things. I'm going to kind of layer the output and the script running and all that here up in this terminal so we can see that. So if I want to do ls and things of that nature, so there's our script right there. No, it's too much. There you go. And so when I want to run it, so if I, /Linux Priv Esc, bam, we get all that, and we can start testing in there. And then below, that way we don't have to kind of jump back and forth between screens. If you like that, let me know. If you don't, you're like, oh, that's junk, go back to full screen stuff, let me know that too, because otherwise I won't know, and you're just going to continue to be upset with it. So yeah, that's what I'm just trying new things, right? You never know until you try. So here is the code, just running it in a mousepad down here. And as you can see, we've added quite a few things to this. We have made some really good progress. Everything is working. Not the prettiest bell at the ball, but you know, there's still time for us to wave our magic wand and turn this pumpkin into a coach, right? So that's the plan anyway, at least later down the road. Today, though, I want to get at where I'm kind of messing with gtfobins, right? This is where I want to bring gtfobins into the picture. Let's bring that up. I'm going to open a browser here, and what I want to do is, while we're waiting for that, it's probably going to jump in front of my screen. No, it did it. Yes, I hate that does that. Kali, don't do that. I don't need you to restore any sessions. Go to where are you, stinking browser? There you are. Don't want to restore sessions. Just want to open a new one, and then I'll just move that over into that desktop. Yeah, for whatever reason, when you fire an application up on one desktop, if you switch desktops, it opens it up in that desktop. It doesn't leave it on the other one. And that's just a pet peeve. There's probably a way to fix that, but it only happens from time to time. So it's just enough to aggravate me and actually spurn me off into trying to fix it. So I'll shut up about it now. But there we go. Well, what I want to do is in the section here for where we do the suid GUID check right there, right? And this lovely little function we got going on here, what I want to do is add more functionality. The basic idea is going to be, okay, we've run the check for suid or GUID set binaries, and then now I want to check gtfobins and see if any of those binaries exist in that system, and if so, eventually what I want it to do is find the ways in which it, basically kind of like returning that back, just the information that you would need to like perform that Priv Esc technique, and then have it programmatically done by Python instead of me having to type all that stuff in and look back and forth. So I'm just trying to automate a lot of the process that I go through when I'm attempting to do Linux Priv escalation to make the process more efficient, more effective. Okay. So that's all going to go in here. Where is that going to go? So it's saying here, this is going to be the, I'm trying to remember what we did. I'm actually reading the code. So what did we do? What was the, okay, so if flag does not equal 0. Then we're going to do print a flag. So that was some stuff we were checking to see if the flag was what we thought it was, because we were having some issues with it. I figured out what was going on because I was being nuts. And then this was go to main input full screen. Okay, so that was the full scan part, right? Yeah, cool. I should probably comment that in there, make that a little easier to figure out. This is where we're going to do this. And maybe go back later and figure out. But here's where it is. When we use that function, when we go into that specific, I choose that number in our menu, which is number 3. So when I choose 3 and it runs this section right here, so it's going to clear the screen. Again, I'm printing the flag. I can take that out. But then it's going to do this print of the SUID GUID and do the actual find and looking for the perms, looking for those binaries. After that, that's where I'm going to start adding. So we're actually going to kind of come in under what looks like here. So it looks like we're going to work right in this section right here. Because if we're thinking of this logically, right, we're running these, we're finding those and seeing what those are. It's going to get weird, because ultimately what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to grab all those outputs, slap them into a variable, and then iterate through that oh my goodness, this is getting bigger. You know, there's those things in your head that you go, ah, man, that's going to be easy. And then you try to tell a computer to do it, and it goes, oh, I need more of that information there, player. You can't just come at me and ask me to do stuff. You got to explicitly explain to me what it is you would like done, please and thank you. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is harder than it looks. But hey, we learn, we grow. That's what it's all about. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm not going to do that today. What I want to do is I kind of want to work out the logic and the code for reaching out to gtfobins. I'm just kind of anxious about that. I want to get that part done and figured out, because that is some foreign junk to me. I don't do a whole lot of that. So that's what's going to be happening today. We're going to try to grab the gtfobins main page. It's a pretty simple page, honestly. I mean, there's some code to it because it does some stuff dynamically in the page. But that basic first page has a laundry list of all the stuff that it can do. All those wonderful little items that might be a Priv Esc path. So basically what I want to do is I want to grab that. I want to look through it for whatever it is I want it to look for. Hence, that's how we're going to have to do all that. Man, this is getting crazy, isn't it? So yeah, there's where we're at. We're going to have it look through each one of the binaries that are found through the SUID GUID check, iterate through each one of those, check gtfobins if it exists there. If it does, return us the SUID, and I guess it'll also have to check for SUID. If there is a SUID path to destruction or privileged escalation, then grab that, do it. Right? That sounds like a lot. So we're just going to tackle that little bit about reaching out to gtfobins, pulling on the page, and searching through it for whatever binary. So we're not going to be doing the ultimate part here. So I guess what we should do is kind of work that out separately. And then once we figure it out, then we can add that here, because it's actually going to kind of break stuff. We'll throw it in. What the heck? I don't care. I don't care, right? What's the worst that could happen? Okay, let's do this. So first thing we need to do, back to here. Let's go to gtfobins, gtfobins.github.io. There you are, my beautiful website. You help me so often, right? So here's what I was talking about. See how there's this list of all the wonderful things it can do, right? Curl, date, blah, blah, blah. It's all nice and alphabetical. But you'll also see that we have some of these will show SUID, like the BAM. GIMP here has a SUID thing. If you click on GIMP, right, it takes you to the GIMP page, which is the new image manipulation program. You'll see there's a section called SUID, and it explains if the binary has a SUID bit set, it does not drop the elevated privileges, it may be abused to access the file, or the file system, should I say. Escalate main privileges, that's what we would like. access a SUID backdoor. Our privileged access as a SUID backdoor. That would be cool. And if it is used to run sh-p, omit the -p argument on systems like Debian, because it just allows that kind of thing to run. So if you're in bash, if you're trying to run bash, you got to do a -p. So it will actually elevate the privileges. They're showing it here for sh as well. So maybe that is, I've only known it for bash. But hey, you learn something new every day. So there it is. And so what I want to do is I want to grab this block of code, like so, and then try to autopwn if we find that. I don't know if we'll get that far today. I don't want to go too crazy today. I just want to get that worked out where I can actually reach out, grab a web page, and make the things that happen, right? So let's do that. So if I do that here, I love having to work this out. I'm going to have to put something in here for it to look for. Let's look at something that might be easy. You know what I want to do is I want to find one of these that only has one entry, because some of this might have, like you see here, check, 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 check. I don't want to, because we're going to try to do some regular expression, kind of grepping for what we want. Well, base 64 seems to have its own thing. I can just do a Control F and find for base 64. And it does say one of one match down there. So it's the only match. That seems like a good one. We'll use base 64 as our test pilots so that we don't have to actually iterate through a bunch of stuff. So let's go add that in. I'm going to call this, what am I going to call this? I'm going to give it a little more blockage here. I'm going to say this will be our, we'll call it the guinea pig, the GP, right? The guinea pig will equal base 64. That way I've got something to like work with. So now I can just call the guinea pig, and we'll use that because I'm not going to build in the whole looping logic through all those things quite yet. I just want to get this part working. All right. So we're going to do that. I'm going to need to figure out how now. If I have kind of done this a little bit in the past. So I'm going to go back to the top of our script here. I'm going to have to do some import. And I know that import, it is requests, plural? Requests, plural? I think it's requests. I also believe there might be a request as well. So let's check that. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm so crazy. Click that little Firefox thing. Open a new tab. Let's do some Googling. Google for Python. Let me move. What am I doing? This thing's way over there. Python 3, and it is requests. Requests? Let's see here. Yeah, PyPy, real Python, docs.python requests. Okay, that looks legit. Let's go here and make it to where you guys can see this stuff. Behold the power of requests. So request.get, so R equals request. So they're just basically throwing this into a like a variable called R, and it's request.get. And you can even throw like authentication. So maybe if you have to throw headers or something at the thing, that might be where we do all this. So this makes sense to me. I vaguely remember this. I think there was also URLlib something, right? URLlib, isn't that another way to do this? URLlib Python 3. URLlib, URL handling modules. Okay, docs.python.org. Let's see. Let's see the difference. What, my friend, is the difference? All right. It says URLlib is a package that collects several modules for working with URLs. That does sound like what we would like. URLlib.request for opening and reading URLs. .error for containing exceptions. .parse for parsing URLs. And robot parser for parsing robots.txt files. Okay. A little sip. I'm a bit dry today. I don't know what it is. It's like I can't get enough water. You ever be like that? I'm that way. Thanks, Luke. All right. URLlib. So what's the difference here? URLlib versus requests. Right? Did I spell that right? No, I did not. URLlib versus requests. Python 3. What are the differences between URLlib, URLlib 2, and hopefully I'll accept your cookies. URLlib 3 and requests, go away. I don't care about your cookie setting. Just show me the stinking thing. You're going to throw stuff at me about cookies. Okay, I know it's been said already, but I highly recommend the request Python package. If you've used languages other than Python, you're probably thinking URLlib and URLlib 2 are easy to use, not much code, and highly capable. That's how I used to think, but the request package is so unbelievably useful and short that everyone should be using it. Well, there you go. This user, who is this in Stack Overflow? They didn't answer the question right here in Stack Overflow. You're supposed to start off with, so this is Martin Peters. Looks like, I can't really, it's got a J in between I and N. Anyway, you're supposed to, on Stack Overflow, start with, why would anybody want to do that? You're stupid even for asking. And that's how I know I'm on Stack Overflow. So it kind of threw me for a loop. This is a very well thought out and respectful response. Very uncommon to the Stack Overflow experience. No, I'm just kidding. We're having fun. But kind of true. Little bit. First, it supports RESTful API and is as easy as, so import requests. I think this is how I've done it before. So request.get. And interesting, it basically just has the 4 basic HTTP methods: get, post, put, delete. And you're off to the races. It might have more than that. We'll have to look at the documentation if we need them. But I think we just need get requests at this point. So request.get, you throw in the URL, bada bing, bada boom, you get yourself a nice URL, like a web page coming back. So this is going to be like our, kind of like when you use curl, right? You throw curl at something and it just chucks the HTML code back at you. I got a feeling like that's what we're going to see here. It says, regardless of whether get post, you never have to encode parameters. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so that just sealed the deal right there. One of the fun things you deal with when it comes to Python is the encoding and decoding. I don't know, maybe it's true for other stuff too, but the encoding and decoding of the data types. So this is a bytes type object. I need a strings type object. You can't concatenate. You can't work with blah, blah, blah. You got to transmogrify these things into different stuff, which from time to time you have to do, which is kind of annoying. Not going to lie. Especially when you're like, it looks like text, but it's not a text. It's a bytes-like object, so eat it. Fun. But that's cool, so I won't have to encode. Again, it simply takes a dictionary as an argument and is good to go. Blam. Okay, so you've sold me on requests. I love every last second of it. Even has a JSON decoder. Bing, bing, bing. Or if your response data is just text, use whatever you called your variable .text. This is what I'm looking for. Let's have some fun. Let's see how it works. You know what we'll do? We'll test. Get out of there. We'll test up here. I'll just go into Python 3, not 4. It's not out yet. If it's even coming, I don't know. I'm just typing the wrong thing. So I guess what we're going to do is import requests. Like so. That looks good. And then we're going to have, we'll call it gtfobins will equal, and it was requests.get. Put in your https gtfobins.github.io, and bam. It did not get angry at me. I like that. So what happens now if we print gtfobins? Okay, so I get a response. Oh, it was the .text, right? You got to throw that on there. Bam. So I just get a response code if I just print whatever that is. And if I do .text, booyah. Heck yeah. Well, that was pretty darn easy. That's what I like. I like easy. I hope you like easy. That was relatively painless, which I love. Okay, so now, obviously this is a lot, right? So we need to be able to like search through this. And look right here, you're getting that gtfobins zipper, and it's like a pseudo. So they're tagging these things pretty well. So we can like really put some regular expression into play here to look for what it is we want. So because we want to look for bash, right? I want to be able to go, hey, Python, you dirty animal, grep for, you know, what I want. I basically want to do like grep, what we're looking for, base 64, right? 64. And what is it? We called it gtfobins.text, like that, right? Is that what we call it? Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to be able to grep through that. Will that work? Probably not. Yeah. It actually knew grep. Okay. All right, let's see if that works. I've got to sneeze. You ready? Here it comes. Wait for it. It went away. It went away. Super. Okay. Well, there you go. It went away. It was coming. What if I do this? Can I do that? Does it actually just grep stuff? No. Didn't like that. What if we put that in like a variable? var1 or 1 equals base 64. And then grep var1 gtfobins.txt. No. Okay, that's not right. I know that's not right. Whatever. I was just kind of hoping that that would have worked, but it didn't. So it's probably like some sort of Pythonic thing. I just don't know how to do it. But I know it's basically you're looking for regular expression. So back to the interwebs. We did a lot of research here, which was very fruitful, honestly. All right. So let's see here. So it's in a variable. So search variables in Python with regular expression. All right, how to use a variable inside a regular expression. No, it's the other way around. That's what I want. How to use a variable, how to use variables. No. Why is it? I love it when that kind of stuff. Variable in regex. That's not what I want. I want to search a variable. All right. So there obviously seems to be some sort of regular expression thing because I saw this right here. Python regex, re match, re. So let's look up that. Let's just look up Python regular expression. Python 3 regex. Boom. Docs.python seems like a good place to go. All right, RE, regular expression operations. Oh, this is a big page. I'm not surprised, honestly. Hopefully you aren't either, because there's probably a lot to this. So some of this, it looks familiar, like a bit, like all these special characters are dot and caret and $sign, right? So this matches the start, this matches the end. If you use grep or anything like that, that should be like, oh, okay, yeah, I do a little regex from time to time, and this is looking vaguely familiar. So all my oldies and goodies, at least very similar in form and function here with regular expression of what I'm looking for. So that's going to be good. I've got a very small learning curve on that. But how do I do this? So it is called RE, according to the top of the page, right? RE, right there. This module provides regular expression matching operations similar to that found in Perl, or those found in Perl. Both patterns and strings to be searched can be Unicode strings as well as 8-bit strings, bytes. Sweet. Even though that shouldn't be a problem for us. All right. Unicode strings and 8-bit strings cannot be mixed. Can they ever? Can they ever? No, because it just complains. All right. So let's just, I just want to see how we use this. Obviously, you got to import RE. So we'll do that. But once I get that far, here we go. Here's like a, okay, import RE, then re.search. And then it kind of gives like a regular expression. So that's the special characters that it's doing. I'd have to kind of look this up. This is kind of like a anything, no matter how much before. I don't know what's going on with this like less than equal sign business, and then ABC. Oh, here it is right here. Matches if the current position in the string is preceded by a match for ... Gotcha. So if what you're looking for is preceded by ABC, as we see here, let me just make sure you can see that, right? So if it's preceded by ABC, what in the world has just happened to this page? Let's do this. Aha! That was super helpful. Thank you so much for jumping around like a crazy person, like a rattlesnake on PCP. Back to the story. So if what you're searching for, which is def, is preceded by ABC, then you've matched. That's the idea. And then here is the string to match, which it does. Therefore, it matches def and you match. All right. This example works for following with a hyphen. So it's preceded by, right? Because there's that question mark, less than equal to hyphen, and then /W. Whatever that is. What is /W? Is that in here? I have no clue. What is a /W? It's not here. It's probably down below. Man, this is what we call rabbit hole fun time. Here we go. For Unicode string patterns, matches Unicode word characters. This includes most characters that can be part of a word in any language as well. So it basically just says, hey, look for words. But that's not what we want to do. We want to, so we're kind of getting the idea though. So we got re.compile, but I think search, like, do we have like a search kind of thing? That's coming. Oh, there we go. Re.search. Bam. Pattern, string, and then whatever flags is. Scan through string, looking for the first location where the regular expression pattern produces a match, and return the corresponding match object. Then we have re.match. If 0 or more characters at the beginning of a string match the regular expression pattern, return a corresponding match pattern. And that's cool. Then we got full match. If the whole string matches the regular expression pattern, return a corresponding match object. Return none if the string does not match. I think that is pretty similar right throughout. I saw search. Did that do that in there? Yeah, return none if no position is in the string pattern. Note that this is different than from finding 0 length match at some point in the string. Whew, okay. Man, they really make these easy to read sometimes. But I'm kind of getting it. I think I'm figuring it out. I think I got what's going on. I'm wondering if search, oh, here we go. Return all non-overlapping matches of a pattern in string as a list of strings. The string is scanned left to right, and matches are returned in the order found. That might be what we want, because, right, we might have to deal with multiple matches. So kind of like if base 64 had base 64 dash something, right? If there was another thing to it, it would match on the first base 64 and then try to run it, and that would be wrong. We might have to choose each one. That might be for a later date. That might be more than we need, but I think find all might be what we want. So re find all, and then bam, is that everything, like matches left to right, returns a found order. One or more groups are present in the pattern. Return a list of groups. This will be a list of tuples if the pattern has more than one group. Empty matches are included in the result. Non-empty matches can now start just after previous empty match. Looks like that's for substitution. Maybe we'll just start with search and see how that goes. And then if we need that find all, we'll come back and we'll change it, because that's what we get to do. Search seems to be a little bit, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not that bad. I don't need the split. Where's that? Where'd that go? Sorry if I'm making you sick, all the scrolling. Find all. What's find iter? Return an iterator yielding match objects over non-all overlap. Oof. So return all non-overlapping matches. Okay, I think I get that. So don't give me the same thing. Like if there's multiple things at the same, don't give me the exact same stuff. Look for something different. It has to match differently, although similarly. Matches blah 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 blah. The string can scan left to right. We'll try this. If not, we'll run back to search because it seems it's very similar in the way it works. So we can just change find all for string if this doesn't. I'm sorry, search if this doesn't work. Okay, let's do it. So what we want to do is, now that we have our lovely gtfobins.txt, which is full of wonderful good stuff, I will want to do a search. So I'm going to kind of pump that out into a variable. How am I going to do that? I am going to say, that way I can save it and use it for later. I'll just call it search, like that, equals, and this will be, import re. Don't forget that. So I will search, no, srch equals re.search. That's it. I'm just remembering, like, what was the syntax again? And then bam. Now I do need to look at the syntax again. Well, how does that work? There was an example, right? Maybe there's usually examples running around somewhere. Let's kind of like look through for examples. The sneeze is back. It wants me. It got me that time. All right, good. Well, at least it's done. Get out of my face. Oh, there. Look, there's oh, that's pattern.search. That's not what I'm looking for. Is there like a group of show me how this works kind of thing? This is interesting. Ooh, that sneeze was a good one. Simulating scanf. Are there just no examples are what I'm looking for? Just like regular examples. Show me an example. Re.splits. Re.splits. That splits. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, so I'm going to have to do like a control F for re.search. Then you got this business. Okay, there is like this single quote right here. Oh, yeah. And then look down here. You got like an R. What is that all about? I don't know, but I think you need that. This example looks for a word. So this doesn't have an R. This one does have an R. I don't know if we need one versus the other. Try this one. Why not? So I'll throw an R in it. So R, single quotes, and then open parentheses, right? No. Was it open parentheses? Yes, it was. I was correct. There we go. So now I need to look for this. Get out of the way, player. I don't need you. I need to look for how to look for this. So I think since the regular expression is extremely similar, I think it's going to be something like a period star question mark, period star question mark. And that should give us, let's see here. So there's the question mark. Causes the resulting regular expression to match 0 or 1 repetitions of the preceding regular expression. So AB question mark will match either A or AB. So no matter what, right? The star and plus qualifiers to the question mark are all greedy. They match as much text as possible, right? So that's where the star was coming in. I knew that. And then a dot is like any, right? In the default mode, this matches any character except a new line. So dot, star, question mark should be what we need. And then we're going to have to do that before and after our search because you never know where you might find that, right? What it's stuck between. There might not be spaces. You might not find like the exact thing you're looking for with spaces on either side of it. So you have to be able to kind of slurp up whatever might be hovering around the actual string you're looking for. So that means we do dot star question mark base 64 dot star question mark and then close it out, hit that monkey, and then we are going to be searching through the gtfobins text. So gtfobins.text like that. It did not complain. We may have done this right. It did not complain. So let us print srch. Boom. It got a match. There it is. Right there. Right? So it found this link to gtfobins /base64. Let's do this. Let's highlight that and copy. Go over to gtfobins. Slap that on the end of our URL. Paste that in. And wait for it. It's a real page. And guess what? It has a SUID button. Oh, man. Not that we looked for SUID. We just happened to have one. But that is good to know. So we're kind of building exactly what we need right there. So that said, let's make sure it's just not freaking out. Let's give it something it might not know about. So we did a base 64. I'm just going to up arrow, and then I'm going to change base 64 to something that is probably not there. I will search for poop because it's funny for me. Hit that, and then print search, and it says none. Hey, we're successfully scraping. I guess that's what we're doing. We're web scraping. I think there's another way to do web scraping. I want to say it's called Beautiful Soup that does that. That I'm not like checked out on Beautiful Soup. I just know what it is. I would need to like figure that out, but I don't know if that would be easier than this. This seemed pretty straightforward, honestly. But maybe there's a bunch of crazy stuff that's going to happen behind the scenes, or that will trip us up down the road. I don't know. If it does, we'll change it. But right now, things seem to be working. Now, Python likes to do freaky things, right? Because it showed me none. And here's what I want to do. I want to check what that is. And I think you can do print, what is it? No, it's like type. I want to know what data type that is. Type srch. So you'll notice it doesn't say class or method or whatever as a string. It says none type. So this is not a string, right? So if I did if what is it called? srch equals none, like that, because when we printed it out, what did it say? It said none. Then prints nothing here, right? Bam. And you'll notice it didn't do anything. It did not print nothing here. But if we do if srch equals none, which is a type, I believe, which is what it's telling me here, then, right, then print nothing. That's horrible. Nothing here. Yeah, and you'll see it prints nothing here. So that could have definitely, I'm glad I checked that, because it does that from time to time. And I remembered seeing that back in the Python documentation. Honestly, I think this is good, right? I think we've done a lot here today. I don't want to like overload us, right? That we can take this a bite at a time. That's how you eat elephants. And this is obviously becoming quite the elephant of code. So we've got that. So let's jump down into here. We know that we need import re. And let's go back to where we're at. And we should be able to give something very similar to what we're looking at up above us here. So we are going to do gtfo bins. I'll just do gtfo. And then equals, it was re.search, bam, bam, which was HTTPS. And that is gtfobins.github.io. Yep. Get it all in there, son. There you go. And now we'll have GTFO, which should have all that. And once we have that, that's good. What do we need to do next? We'll need to search it. So I think we're gonna if our way through some of this. Do I need that? So I need to do the search. That's what I'm going to do. The srch, right? I need to do the search. Equals. It was. Oh no. That's what I'm doing here. GTFO. That's not what I want to do there. This should be requests. I'm a crazy person. UESTS requests dot get. Bam. Now we do re.search. And it was r bam bam. And what was it? It was dot star question mark. And then it needs to take in the guinea pig. How do I do that? Because it's a variable. Hey, you know what? We had a lot of that shit. Get out of the way. I love it. All right. We had a lot of that back when we looked up like grep with Python. So search variables in Python with regular expression. I saw that very thing like a bunch of times. How to use a variable inside a regular expression. Hey, look, we're back in Stack Overflow. Here we go. So it looks like right here. So there's the R. I don't know what this F strings is. Literal string interpolation. In your particular case, that would be blam. Maybe I need this F business. Let's go back over here. Do a control F for RF. Space. Yeah, I guess you can't do that. And plus, it's going to be in an example. It's probably not going to be searchable. Dang. Yeah. Maybe. No. What was that called again? They had a name for it. F strings. Go back here. Do F strings. F dash strings. Duh. Absolutely not. It says. All right. Well, you know what we do? We just try it. See if it works. Right. So RF, and then put in whatever you like, and then kind of parentheses everything. That doesn't seem right. An edit. Raw. Oh, cool. Raw strings is what that means. One of the main concepts you have to understand when dealing with special characters and regular expression is to distinguish between literal strings and regular expression itself. Very well explained here. Cool. It only works because we're using a raw string. Regex is preceded by the R. Otherwise, we might. Oh, yeah, that sounds horrible. re.escape. Bing, 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 bing. Curly braces. I don't think we need that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to try. Hey, first let's go back and just read another page. That was okay. Maybe Guru 99. They had a lot of good stuff, right? Let's see if I see anything in here. Anything? Anyone? Bueller? Buddy, come on now. Split the words. I'm just kind of like scrolling through here so you guys don't have to wait too bad. It looks like you just kind of like split it up with parentheses, honestly. And maybe use plus signs like in normal. Let's just try it. I don't care. Okay, so that means I gotta do this bam plus what is it, GP plus, and then start the whole money over with this star, no, dot star question mark. I'm just gonna try this. I don't really know if it's gonna work, but we will see. And then it will be the GTFO dot text. Okay. All goes according to plan. That should be good. So now we got to do a little conditional logic. If srch equals, remember, it's just none, because basically if it doesn't come back, I just kind of want it to let me know. So I'm going to say print, just to kind of like, this is proof of concept. Make sure this is actually going to work. No matches found. Cool. Else, ELSE. Oh, you know what I did forget to do? That would break that. All sorts of. I'm just adding all sorts of bugs to this. Need that. Else, bam. Else prints. Yeah, we'll print out our match, which will be srch, no, right? Yeah. Search.text, gtfobins, yeah, search dot. How do we do that? How do we look it up? What did I do? I'm like, my mind is going blank. Print, yeah, just print search. Bing. Print search. That should work. And then we get the go domain, and it should be good. I think this is all we need for this to work. So I just saved, Control-Dest it. Cool, exit Python with Control-D. And now, the coup de grace, Linux Priv Esc, cool. So far, so good. Let's go to 4. No, not 4. 3. So it's doing the check as it should. On to GUID. And look, hey. Booyah. We did get the match. Excellent. So I think we've made some good progress today. Hopefully you think we've made progress as well. And we're just going to call that a good stopping spot for us because, man, we've been kind of at it for a hot minute. But we learned a lot, and we did a lot of really cool things that I do have zero experience. When I say zero, like very, very, very little experience with this stuff. But everything seems to be working really well. So good for us. Yay. Add that to the code. Put that in yours, and we should be all on the same page at that point. I do thanks for watching. We'll have another part of this where we're going to get even deeper in the weeds. Obviously, we have quite a bit more functionality we need to add to make all of this work, but it is a learning experience for all of us. So hopefully you are learning something and taking away a lot of good information, and this is going to be a really cool script, I think, when we're done with it. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you good people next time.